Got myself a nice old carp from the Minnesota River today. I'm gonna get some nice fillets off of it and then brine it with canning salt and then smoke it. And then I'm gonna take the separated meat that I do by hand and pack it into pint jars and can it, pressure can it. Have some nice smoked carp canned. Don't want to try to cut through these scales. That's the fastest way you can possibly dull your knife. So you want to kind of try to get underneath them where they open up there like that. Get underneath them like that. And then, well, with all fish, you really want to start right behind the head. There's that nice meat right here. You don't want to lose that meat. Okay, see, now that I'm underneath the scales, I can go along the spine like you normally would. You know, don't be in a rush or a hurry. You can just take your time and try to hug right along that spine. Don't press too hard. You don't want to go through it, through the spine. You want a nice clean, because you got enough of them X bones anyway in there. Like northern have Y bones, and carp have basically pitchforks for bones. That's why most people consider them to be completely inedible fish. But they're so plentiful in the Minnesota River, and it's such a good resource. Once you do the smoking and get all that fish oil drained out of it, I'd be willing to bet that they're just as safe, if not safer, than a lake caught fish. And it's, in my opinion, canned carp is even better than canned salmon. But see how I got that right up against the rib cage? I'm not wasting any meat. Trying not to cut into the guts if I can avoid it. Yeah, right there. I kind of don't want to cut into that there. I'd rather not expose the guts and, you know, have any chance of contaminating the fillets. That belly meat, I don't know, a lot of people say they want to avoid that belly meat, but on catfish I do kind of avoid that belly meat on big catfish and flatheads, because it is quite fishy and I think has a larger concentration of PCBs, if there are any. Like this one has roe. Look at that. That one had roe in it. Huh. Okay, so there's a beautiful fillet to smoke. I'll do the other side. Now, be careful to not cut yourself. Lord knows I have plenty enough times. Important thing is to always be aware of where your knife blade is facing, and if at all possible, always keep it away from you. Don't try to slice through them scales. You'll end up with a duller knife, just as dull of a knife as if you were trying to cut dirt. Tried to get underneath them like that, and then just go along the spine. Once I get to where I can get behind the butthole, then I go all the way through like that, and then just keep it against the spine of the fish. Try not to push too hard, like I said. Go right through like that, and then you can start carving away from the ribs. Try not to go through the guts or through the rectum of the fish also. I mean, if you do, you're probably pretty safe to, you can just rinse off the fillet if you get any poo on it or whatever, and you're going to be salting and smoking it anyway, but why not just avoid all that hassle? And just be careful with your knife and not get any contamination. It looks like it'd be an amazing fish to eat, but like I said, in here it's all these X bones. And I mean, you can get away with a bass and a northern. You can get away with leaving them bones in and kind of picking them out. There's no way you're going to be able to eat a carp fillet deep fried. Impossible. The bones, like I said, are like pitchforks. You'll see that later when I separate the meat after I've smoked it. The bones are just, they make the fish impossible to eat unless you smoke and separate. Oh, see, now that roll, that ain't gonna really hurt anything, but it's certainly better than carp poo. So I think we pretty much can consider this mission accomplished. See that there? I kind of didn't, that's not really what you want to do. See how I lost a little meat there? It's not the end of the world, but I could have done a little bit better job than that. You'll probably have better success. There you go. There's two nice carp fillets. So I'm going to rinse these off. As you can see, I also caught a couple channel cats. Big bullhead sized channel cats. I'll fry them up like bullheads. Mostly whole with the tails and the head, and tails left on and the heads cut off. But anyway, so there's one fillet. Put in a stainless steel bowl. Other fillet. Rinsed off. Okay, now there. Canning salt. Now, I don't want too much. I don't want to like completely drown this in salt, but I want enough to be able to draw out the moisture. Okay, so there, that's good enough. Well, like that. That'll be enough to draw out the slime. And I'm gonna put tin foil on top of this and refrigerate it for, I don't know, all day tomorrow, and then Sunday I'll smoke it. I've got I think I got 4 other carp in the freezer. So what I do is I don't, not really worth firing the smoker up for just one carp. So what I do is I brine it. Tomorrow I'll drain it, recover it, and then drain it one more time and kind of pat it dry. And there'll be something called a pellicle that forms on the outside of this. You don't want to wipe that away. But this is enough salt even for the whole canning process and everything. So I won't add any more salt to the jars when I pack them into pints. This will be plenty enough. I've done it before, like the first few times I tried this, I oversalted it. And you really don't want to oversalt it because, well, it's almost inedible. But I mean, what I ended up doing was I had to kind of like rinse my fish off when I took it out of the jars to use it for food. But just enough to draw the moisture out, just enough canning salt to do that will be enough. So we're going to drain this. It's been like, I don't know, it's been like 22 hours. So I'm going to drain this a little bit. It's been like, I don't know, like 22 hours or something like that. Almost a full day in the fridge. So, you know, they brine now enough that, you see that? Look at the moisture that come out. And you can actually see that glossiness. That's the beginning of the formation of the pellicle that you want on there. Okay? So, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Should have just put the harness on, right? Anyway, I just kind of want to get rid of that moisture. Here we go. Get rid of some of that. Okay. Then I'm going to recover it and let it go until tomorrow. But it's, right now, I could smoke this. I mean, it's alright, but I like it to be really not juicy, not moist at all. I want it to be, what's the word, tacky on the surface is what I want. And then it'll be perfect for smoking. So we'll recover that and put it in the fridge until tomorrow. Okay, so I've pretty well decided that I'm going to hold off on the smoking until I have at least another couple carp. I have, I think, 3 or 4 in the freezer. But anyway, I'm going to drain this all a little bit. Not too much more moisture was going to come out of there anyway. And I might as well reutilize the tin foil. So I've actually had this brined fish. I mean, I suppose I could pat it dry a little bit more, but nah, there's not really any reason. So I've had this these fillets in the freezer for well over a year in some instances. You know, as long as it's kind of airtight. But even if it gets dried out, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna smoke it anyway. There's so much oil in the fish that you don't have to worry about it. So anyway, that's pretty good. I'm not going to have these two fillets in the freezer for too long. Like I said, I've got, I think, 3 or 4 in the freezer already. So, yeah, that's, when I get a couple more, then I'll break out the smoker. Alright, I've got enough fillets now. I've got, I don't know, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, but you can see how that's all glossy? That's called the pellicle, and you don't want to get rid of that. But I'm going to get these carp fillets into the smoker now, and you know, I'm going to use alder wood, and it should probably take only about 3.5 hours or so. I'll rotate them every once in a while. Then I'll show you how to separate the meat from the bones. Okay, so now I got them out of the smoker. I wanted them to be where I could separate the meat from the bones, but not completely smoked through like you'd find in like a, you know, smokehouse fish shop. I just want to be able to pull the meat apart from the Y bones, which here you go, you can see. There's one of the bones, there's one of the Y bones. And there's bones in here that are like pitchforks too. But I'll show you the process of doing that. So I'm just going to take the meat and pull it off. There's Y bone. Just have a little cookie sheet here to throw the bones on, throw them in the garbage later. But see this? You can see there's a lot of bones. Just kind of flake it. There. There's some meat. Yeah. Try not to miss any. You're probably not going to get them all. But when you get them out, get the meat out from your canning jars later, just keep an eye open. I've gotten to a point now where I've gotten pretty good at getting all the bones. There. Got all the bones out of that. Now, you see underneath the meat that I'm picking off, there's this here. It's like, I don't know if that's the bloodline or what that is. But that meat is pretty dark. I don't know. Leave it up to your discretion whether you want to use that meat or not. It's definitely more oily. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I don't think I'm going to use it this time. So, with river fish, there's been some concern with the levels of mercury or PCBs in the fish. Usually that's Our main concern with that is predatory fish. The larger predatory fish is, the more fish it's consumed itself, and usually that means a higher concentration of bad stuff. Carp's a bottom feeder. Non-native to our area. So it's kind of a resource that is much underused. Look at that thing. How would you like to get that stuck in your throat? Nope. Yeah, this is basically the only way you can eat a rough fish like this, is by smoking it. You know, if you only get one rough fish a season, which is almost impossible, it means you haven't been doing enough fishing, then you can just smoke it and use it straight away. Just eat it the way it is. Or you can do what I do and brine the pieces, wrap them in tin foil, freeze them, and then when you have enough to fill a smoker up, smoke them. Almost like a pitchfork, that one. The bigger carp will have bones that are just way nasty. I've had a lot of smoked fish in my life, mostly Swedish I am, so it seems to be kind of a thing with us. But had smoked trout, smoked herring, smoked whitefish. Herring's more of a pickling fish. Anyway, I've had smoked northern, which to me is a waste. Northern is a good fish on its own. If you know what you're doing, I should make a video on that, how to get the Y bones out of a northern. But of all the smoked fish I've had, and even my wife will agree with me, the best she's had is this, my canned smoked carp. Probably the most widely used smoked canned fish is probably salmon. But and it's very good. But for my money, this is the best stuff. I plan on doing some more experimenting with other kinds of rough fish. Particularly if our gar fish around here tend to not be very large. But I have caught, 3-pounders, maybe close to 4-pound garfish, and since I started doing this, canning the smoked rough fish, smoked carp, I've oft wondered what other kinds of rough fish would turn out like. If I catch a large sheephead, or it's also known as freshwater drum, I'm going to try that. But usually the sheep's head that we catch around here, not really meaty or very large. Again, like, you can use this stuff here, but if you do decide to use this, just scrape it with your hand like this, away from the skin. You could use that if you want. It's going to make your canned fish a lot more oily and a lot fishier tasting. I tend to not use it because my wife doesn't like overly fishy things. But I don't know. the smoking process, look at that thing. My gosh. That's a Y bone if I ever saw one. Look at this. There's like, it's more like a X bone or something. But the smoking process drains out so much oils and stuff from the fish. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I would suspect that this process would remove a large number of those contaminants that may be in the fish. Look at those bones. Yeah, this is a bigger piece. I kind of haphazardly just put fillets of carp on these sheets.